Sherry. I am here with Hecate's needle, and I'm back with Flosstube number 60. It is October 2nd, 2025. I'm sorry about my voice. My neighbor has suddenly decided to chop down what sounds and seems like all of the trees in his backyard and burn them all in huge, monstrous bonfires that kind of make it look like the entire neighborhood's on fire. So suffering a little bit from the smoke. But I've got a drink, so we're gonna get through this. And I will edit out any coughing fits. And you know what? If I don't show up in 2 weeks, it's because the smoke inhalation got me. Seriously. That's the only problem with living in an unincorporated area. You have people like him who think that just means they can do anything they want. Like, his hobby is to sit in his backyard and shoot squirrels. No reason, he doesn't garden. But how dare they set their little feet inside of his property line. And it's not like we live in the country. We're in a neighborhood. But anyway. So, that being said, we'll hope my voice holds out for the entire video. I do think this will be a shorter video because I have not done as much. Although I do have a new start and I do have progress. So, on to the video. First, I want to start off by saying welcome. Welcome to everyone who has subscribed. Welcome to those who just kind of pop in once in a while. Everyone's welcome in my craft room, such as it is. Right now it's a mess, but that's okay. We have some cross stitch today. We have a little bit of sewing and some life, but nothing out of the ordinary. So let's get started. Cross stitch. Cross stitch, as I said, I do have a new start. I had said at the beginning of the year, from my plans for the year, that I would not be doing any stitch alongs other than I would possibly do the Fat Quarter Shop Halloween free stitch along, which they did not have this year, so I did the Christmas one. And if Noctiflora had a stitch along, I would do that one. Well, Noctiflora came out with their new stitch along for this year, and I have started it, and I am actually caught up with it. So that's a thing. Now the stitch along we have is, and you know, I used to be a speech therapist for years, but even I have trouble saying this. It is Toad Ghoul Terrarium. A monstrous mushroom stitch along by Noctiflora Designs. Basically, there's a new they had the title released October 29th. Or October, really? I don't know what time zone I'm in. August 29th. They did the pre-sale and had the title so that you could get your title done early. And then part 1 started September 26th. And then there are weekly releases up until December 19th with, with 3 rest weeks in between. Where I'm assuming those 3 are bigger pieces that will probably require 2 weeks to stitch. I'm assuming, I don't know. But, as I said, I am currently caught up. And this is what we've got. This is just the title and part 1 with the little jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. Now, this fabric is from Black Dahlia Fabrics, and it is the fabric that they dyed specifically for this stitch along in the colorway Kayeri. and it is a 14 count Aida. I do like the fabric. Now, this doesn't show up as much as I might like it to, with the sun shining on it through the window. But without the sun, it shows up better. But like I said, so far I'm caught up, and I'm hoping to stay that way. I don't want to get behind like I did with the Vampirum, but we'll be getting to that. So that's my new start. Now, progress, other than the new start, I've only worked on 2 other projects. So the next one I worked on was the Bee Mandala. This is a design by Doreen Jones. I got it from the World of Cross Stitching magazine, May 2021, and it looks like that. I love it. And it will be a good one to frame in a hoop, which is what I'm thinking I will do. Now, when you last saw it, it looked like that. And now it looks like that. So what I worked on, I put in 1,029 stitches, and that put it at 48%, so almost halfway. What I worked on was filling in all of these leaves, including the back stitching, all of this, and then I started, and I've been filling in the round frame in green, and then I started the next hive here. So that's what I've been working on. I do enjoy stitching this, and as you can see, I'm doing the back stitch as I go. As I fill in this part, the leaves, I go ahead and do the back stitching. Since I've already got the green floss on the needle anyway, I might as well get it done. Now this fabric, this is a 14 count Aida from Witch's Garden Crafts. It is in the colorway Frosty. And I love how it looks with this fabric. I think this fabric was the perfect choice, courtesy of my husband. So there's that one. And then the second one I worked on was the Sunflower Sampler from Forbidden Fiber Crafts, or Forbidden Fiber Co. Sorry. It's where the sunflowers are. And this one was a mystery kit. Now, this one, when you first saw it, or when you last saw it, sorry, it looked like that. Now, I have put in 583 stitches, which puts it at 25% done. And what I worked on was I did the wear, and then I started doing these windows here. So that's what I have worked on. You can barely see the white there. Now this fabric came with the kit. It is a 16 count Aida in the color Babbling Brook, and it is also Forbidden Fiber. Like I said, this was a whole kit. It's their fabric, their floss, their pattern. So that's what I have done on my little sunflower sampler. And that's all the progress I've made. Now, I have no haul. I have not been shopping. I got those 4 patterns last time. That's the last shopping I did. as I said, this is a low buy year for me. I have so many patterns and kits in my collection already. I want to go through those before I start loading myself up with more and more and more. So no shopping. I didn't do any shopping. I do have plans. Now, I have been spinning my little wheel to determine what projects I work on. And I've caught up with my check sheet. That's caught up, so I'm just free to spin the wheel and just stitch what I want to stitch. I think what I'm going to do is I'll keep spinning the wheel in October. I will keep up with the toad ghouls. And I think for November, I am going to do a Noctiflora November because I have two big Noctiflora pieces. I've got the Vampirum, which was last year's stitch along, and then I have this year's stitch along. I would like to get the Vampirum done. I really would. And I want to keep up with the toad ghouls. So I think what I'm going to do in November is just stitch Noctiflora and get that Vampirum done and finished, and keep up with the toad ghouls so that it will be finished in December. I don't want to carry those over into next year. So I think November I'm going to do a Noctiflora November. And then as far as the rest of October, I'm just going to keep spinning the wheel. I'll keep doing the toad ghouls and just see what I can get done. And that's my goal. I want these projects finished so that I can start other projects that are waiting. So that's pretty much it for cross stitch. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Hopefully I will get to work on more the next 2 weeks. And I'll get to why I haven't had as much time to stitch. So that's it for cross stitch. Sewing. In my last video, I had said that I had spun the wheel for my next quilting project, and it landed on this one. Now I am doing the wall hanging. I am not doing another 4-foot long, 3-foot long table runner that I can't use on a table because I have no tables that big. So I am doing the wall hanging. Now, it's taking longer than I had hoped, but that's because all of these little pieces are hand applique. Yay. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind, but it's time consuming and it's tedious. But this is what I've gotten done so far. And as you can see, I've gotten a lot of the appliquing done. All I have left is the nose, the mouth, and then these 4 green parts. And all of the applique will be finished, at which point I can bind it. Well, I can put it back on it, bind it, and put a hanger so that I can hang it. I'll have it done by the next video easily. I plan to finish the applique probably today while I edit this video and hopefully get that done so that I can get it up on my wall, because we've already put up the Halloween decorations because my daughter's not waiting. But that's how much I've gotten done with that. I will say once again, now if you notice this wall hanging, plenty of room, lots of room. Reality, not so much. It is definitely, the measurements were definitely off. I am making it work as I do, but the measurements were definitely off for these pieces. And I did not have enough of the yellow to do a yellow leaf, so I just did 3 leaves. You do what you do. This was a kit that was sent in a subscription box, and once again, the subscription box was adequate, but some of their measurements were off. So, but I'm making it work, and that's fine. As far as plans, once I finish that one, I'll spin the wheel for a new quilting project, and I will probably make some more project bags. Otherwise, I might make some clothes, whatever trots through my empty little head, and we'll go from there. I have no haul. I have not been shopping, as always. So that's it for sewing. Life has been busy, which is why I've not had as much time to work on my crafting. Now, many of you know I have a daughter with a disability. That being said, I have to maintain legal guardianship of an incapacitated adult, and that is a process. Now, I already had the guardianship back in Texas, but the process of trying to get that transferred to Alabama has been ridiculous. It has been ridiculous. No lie. Never mind the cost of such a venture, but all of the bureaucratic red tape required just to transfer a legal document from one state to another is insane. And you have to have attorneys involved, you have to go through caseworkers, you have to go through the courts. It is ridiculous. Now, this has been ongoing since we moved here, and that was at the end of January. Yeah. Never mind that it's almost impossible to find information on how to do this, okay? Which obviously forces you to go to an attorney. You can't just do it on your own because you have to petition the court here, petition court there. You have to, And so the last couple of weeks I've been really occupied with trying to tie up the loose ends and finish this process, which hopefully this morning I signed the last paper, hopefully, and we can get this done. Now, and I've had people tell me, I don't know why you go through that process. You're her mother. It's not like they can tell you no. She's 31. Yeah, they can. In order to continue to make decisions for her medical, especially in her case, medical decisions, because she does have various medical conditions. For me to continue to have access to her medical records and make those decisions for her, I have to have legal guardianship in the eyes of the law because she is an adult. That's why you have to go through this. And I understand why they've made it such a difficult process. Trust me, working in special ed for years, I've seen the abuse that occurs, both financial abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, all of it. I've seen why they made it so difficult. And I'll just say that I want to say a word, but these people who have engaged in these abusive practices have made it difficult for people like me who just genuinely want to continue to care for the child I gave birth to. So, the hell with those people. We don't deal with abuse. But anyway, and like I said, I have dealt with many of them over my years in the schools and clinics and everything where I have worked. There's nothing nice to say about any of them. if you would abuse a disabled person or any person at all, you are human trash. You are garbage. End of story. But I understand why the process is so complicated, but at the same time, it makes it so hard on people who just are trying to do the right thing. And so the last couple of weeks, it's really been ramping up so that I've had to sign documents, do this, email this, call this. So I haven't had as much stitchy time as I wanted. But hopefully today was the last signature required. Fingers crossed. Pray for us. But anyway, so that's what my life has been dealing with the past couple weeks. We've also, like I said, been dealing with my neighbor. He is on some kind of just a rampage. He has decided he is cutting all the limbs off his trees. He is cutting this down. He's cutting that down. He's burning all his garbage. And when I say huge bonfires, I mean you can see the flames over the roof of his house. Now we live in, we're just single-story homes. But when you can see the flames over the roof of his house, that's a bit much. And the smoke, because we are up on a hill, and the further you go down our road, it goes downward. It slants downward into a valley of sorts. And so all of the smoke goes from his house past our house and settles in that valley. And so we constantly have smoke coming our way. And literally, yesterday was a beautiful, gorgeous day. First time we could finally feel a touch of fall in the air. The leaves are starting to fall. And I was outside putting up the Halloween decorations in the yard and doing things like that and trying to clean up the back porch and whatnot. The smoke was so bad that my chest started to hurt. I started coughing and I almost threw up. I had to come inside. So today, and he's already at it again. He's already at it again. It's just 3 days in a row now. So I'm just staying in the house today. I'm not going outside. I already took care of the chickens. I made sure the peeps were okay out in the garage. And I brought in the trash can. I'm done outside. I'm not going outside in this hellscape he is creating. So we've been dealing with that as well. But we have decorated the house for Christmas. I will insert some pictures. My daughter, October 1st, you best be prepared to decorate. Oh, God love her. But we've already decorated. She has little cookbooks. Like she has the unofficial Wednesday cookbook. She has the Hocus Pocus cookbook. And once a week, I allow her to pick recipes out of those, and we'll have a Halloween dinner. And we did that last night. So she's loving this, and she keeps talking about this is our first Halloween in this house. This is our first Halloween in Alabama. She's so excited. And honestly, I love it. I love seeing it. And she makes it fun for all of us. So that's fine. But other than that, we've just been doing what we do. We did go to the Bellingrath Gardens fall plant sale. We did get a couple of plants, not many. We just got 3. But I think tomorrow is the University of South Alabama. They have a glass studio, and they are going to have their glass pumpkin sale. My daughter and I might go check that out, because it might be cool to bring home a glass pumpkin and that they created at the college, and all the proceeds go to funding their studio, the Glassworks. So that's a good, I don't mind that at all. And then I think the Mobile Botanical Gardens are about to have their fall plant sale. Not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. And we'll go and just see what kind of plants we can get. But otherwise, that's it for us. That's all we're doing. We have finally, the only thing left to unpack in this place is the few boxes that are stacked up on the back porch, courtesy of my husband, which I will start going through once the bonfires are done, and then the garage. And that's his problem. The garage is his problem. I'm not doing the garage. I did this entire house by myself. I'm not doing that garage. That stuff will stay in boxes until hell freezes over as far as I'm concerned. So that's on him. He can do that. He has been taking his boat out, but we haven't been fishing, although that's coming. And otherwise, we're just doing what we do. As I said, I plan to finish this weekend, hopefully, and move on from there and get more stitching done and see what I can get finished by the end of the year. So that's it from me. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Y'all have told me in the comments that you would definitely be interested in me doing giveaways with the charts that I have, the printed charts, of course not the PDFs, but the printed charts. As I finish stitching them, you would be interested in me doing giveaways with those, so I will do that. I'll be going through those and see what I've got. And as I said, I plan to make some more project bags because I have all of these scraps that need to be used up. So I'm going to be doing that. And I will probably set those aside for some giveaways as well. Just because I don't need that many project bags, but I love making them. Okay. They are an awesome way to use up scraps that are too small for other things. So I'll be doing that. And that's it for me. So I know this was a shorter video, and yes, I went on my rant. I can't help it. It is what it is. We have opinions, and we're allowed to have opinions, even if they differ from others' opinions. That's okay. If you liked what you saw, as usual, subscribe, like, share, comment, all these things. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. Thank you for the likes, the comments. I love to read the comments, and I love chatting with you guys. I will always answer you. And it's Thursday, so as usual, it's not too early to say I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next time.